welcome everybody. Let's make sure it's recording because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to get this to okay, it's recording. All right. So welcome. Sorry about that. I'm on vacation and it's been a while since I've done a webinar in Zoom, so they changed a lot of things apparently. But today we're wrapping with Shaun from GoHighLevel. He's the co-founder and CEO of GoHighLevel. A lot of you guys already know him. A lot of you guys have already talked to him. A lot of you guys already are customers of his. So thanks for taking the time today, Shaun. We really appreciate you here. And today we're going to talk all about SaaS mode, why people should upgrade to SaaS, more importantly, how they can make money with it. So we want to extract everything possible from your brain. And then at the end, I'm going to kind of like tell people how I am using it and how people in our program are using it. And so guys, if you don't get value bombs from this, then I quit. Okay. So that's my promise to you is by the time you leave, you're going to find at least, let's call it at least one nugget, but you probably walk away with like at least 3 good ones, you know? So time well spent. All right. So let's, Haplin says, I like Shaun a lot. Yeah, I did too, bro.
I like Shaun. Right. I was gonna say, I like Haplin a lot.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let me just kick this off and we'll just get right into it if that's cool with you.
Yeah, happy. Let's do it.
So the number one question I get from people is why should I upgrade to SaaS mode? What's the difference between the $300 a month pro plan and the $500 a month SaaS plan, right? With GoHighLevel. So Can you just briefly give us like a bird's eye view of what the difference is and why folks?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah, the reality is, I mean, like we'll continue to put like all kinds of features and stuff in there, but the biggest thing that's going to make you more money is the billing. And so what we're able to do with the system now is, and I'll put this on screen here in just a sec, is it's the automation of well, it's not just the billing, it's also the time save. So inside GoHighLevel, you have the SaaS configurator. And really the most important thing here is this is how you make more money. So it's, hey, listen, this is where you're going to define how much you want to charge a customer every month. And then also down below, this, for some reason, people don't quite, people have a hard time adding up seeing how small dollars create really big outcomes, but being able to mark up and resell all the Twilio cost and usage, as well as all of the email usage is massive. Basically, this just means, hey, listen, you know those big Twilio bills you always complain about and always want a cheaper version of? Guess what? They're gone. Because now, every time Twilio hits you with $100 worth of charges, you can now hit your customers with $300 worth of charges and you just made $200. So right there, you've paid for the upgrade. So, I mean, there's certain features that are available in the SaaS mode that are not in others, but honestly, this is the only one I care about. And it's the biggest difference. It's just, and also with this comes the ability to set the customer up automatically, create their account, send them the password, do the onboarding. And then from there, it's all of the stuff that you will have to manage afterwards. So let's imagine you've got 20 people and they're like, hey, Rob, I need to change my credit card on file, man. Can you help me out with that? You're like, ah, crap. Yeah, let me open my Stripe account. Let's get on a Zoom call. Like, no, you can just go into the billing and you can put the credit card in here yourself and the customer can do the update. Hey, I saw you hit me for a charge yesterday for $1,400. Whoa, what was that? Oh, well, just go ahead and take a look at it. You can just pull your invoice up right there. Oh, you know what? That was your charge for the platform for the month. Or, oh, I saw that you hit my credit card for, whatever it was, a $20 charge or a $50 charge. Man, Chris Lyle's a beast. He knows how to do this right. $50. Love it. It was your rebill charge for for topping up your account. This person's using a lot too. And so all of a sudden they can come in here and manage all of this stuff, see all this stuff, and they're not calling you about it. And given that we're in the business of running a SaaS company, I can tell you lots of people have these administrative questions that they're going to need. And unless you personally, so first of all, most important thing is we're automating how you make money. And then second, we're helping you with all of the billing and the administrative stuff behind that. So really, to me, that's why that extra $200 a month is worth it.
Okay, got it. So essentially, it's make money, save time. Those are the two big.
All at one time. Thank you, Rob. You're always good at helping to synthesize these ideas.
Well, no, it's good. Like, so for me, it's always like it's one of 3 things, right? It's either make money, or save time. And usually, most people, the first thing they think of is save money, but at scale, and if you're going to grow like a legit business, like saving money is usually a race to the bottom.
Absolutely.
if you think about like Amazon products, it's always like, as soon as something gets popular and it gets knocked off, it's always a race to the bottom price wise, because you're then selling a commodity, right?
No,
So
no one cuts to glory, right? No one says, I got really, really, really rich by cutting every last cost I could find. It doesn't mean be inefficient or be, largesse. It means that, at some point though, focusing your limited time on growing the top line is way more important, because, than sitting around every day trying to figure out how you can get a coupon to save, 10% on something. It just doesn't add up to a lot of dollars at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I can tell you guys this, before HighLevel existed, so let me just complete that thought real fast. So then you're left with save time, which, if someone's making more than minimum wage is the most valuable asset probably for them. And then you have make money, right? So this one hits the two biggest ones. So in order, people usually go save money, make money, save time. That's the order of priority, but it's actually flip-flopped, right? Is what I found. Once you get going and you actually have a business and all that stuff. So here's a quick story. Before I met you guys, I had a $44,000 a month Scipio bill, right? Before you guys even created HighLevel. And we did one thing with Scipio, because that's all it does, but it's two-way business texting, right? And we would have to log in and out of each individual account to not only to service our clients' accounts to do the lead nurturing for them, but we also had to go in and out and manage the billing and everything for them. And that was a nightmare. Like, I cannot so not only were we paying through the nose for something that didn't work nearly as good as HighLevel did in the first place, but I had to have a full-time person just to manage the thing. It was a total nightmare, right? So at scale, when we had, I think the most we ever had on monthly retainer was like 225 clients, right? 225 locations. This got hairy fast. I mean, Betsy, our poor GM, was sitting there like doing this full time. So guys, if you just have a handful of clients, or you don't see yourself doing this much volume, which is totally ridiculous. You can do this volume and more over time. But if you guys don't see this as super sexy, I can tell you on the back end, it's super sexy. I mean, if this thing saves you 10 hours a week, which it probably would with just a handful of clients, it's worth it. Because if you take,
I was on the phone with the guy this morning, and he was saying, he's like, I'm ready to buy off. He's actually going to buy up to dedicated support, because he's at that point where it's just the overhead of dealing with these really tiny, easy questions. But when you get 100 of them, right? He's like, I want to be out in the field every day, selling. I need to be able to toss it back over the fence and just know that all the administrative stuff is going to get done. And that's why this automation is so important.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So,
Cool.
And guys, if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat and I'll pause here periodically to answer them. But okay, so you're saying that this is the biggest thing, is number one, you upsell on
make money.
So this is the make money screen. Okay. And then you've got the time saving thing, so people can just focus on selling and not spend as much time on the admin. Okay.
That's right.
Pretty straightforward. Okay. So what else? Is there other stuff that we should be paying attention to? Because I think
I mean, okay. So I think the thing to do is actually to just zoom back on the whole point here. So why did we go in this direction to begin with? What are we getting at here? And I have been working with agencies now hardcore for 3 years, thanks to Robb. And ultimately, what I've learned is that every agency has the same problem. They fundamentally want to make more money and they want to scale their business. And I'm talking people at hey, I just watched my first how to start a marketing agency in 2021 video on YouTube, all the way up to people like, we're the largest dental marketing agency in the country. It's always the same problem set. And then when you dig in on it, what it is that services are expensive. It's really hard in a pitch to sell a $3,000 a month retainer. And it's very hard to scale services as you go forward. And they also tend to lead to churn in ways that other things don't. And so when we looked at how can we solve for this problem, right? What we realized is that digital solutions, so this is software, they solve all of these problems. So if always on the low end, let's say you're on a pitch, it's the same pitch. I'm gonna get you these outcomes I'll steal this from Rob. He says, sell the hole, not the drill, right? And people always ask me like, well, how do I pitch it? I'm like, what do you mean? You pitch it the same way you're pitching it now. Do you want a higher rank on Google? Do you want more 5-star reviews? Do you want free customers walking in off your website every day? Well, of course you do. That's the same pitch you were doing 5 minutes ago. But now the punchline is not buy my $3,000 a month recurring, revenue services package, buy my $300 a month fully automated software package. And the idea here is you're not getting rid of your services. You're just getting more yeses out of the gate so that you can value ladder the people up. But the idea here is simple. Software and technology, they're very sticky, they're very scalable, and they have insanely high margin. So we're adding this in no matter who you are. You could be, the biggest dental marketing agency in the country. They're adding this in. They have a great business. They target the top 10% of dentists. They have, they're the big bad, $10 million agency out there, but they still want more profit to the bottom line. And so if they can add a $300 a month product to their existing service line that requires 0 additional employees, they're all about it. And then all the way down to the person who's just getting started trying to break down the door. Rob, you always talk about database reactivations, and those are phenomenal, right? And why are they phenomenal? Because they're not this massive commitment to this big amount of dollars. They're this, hey, check this out. Let me show you a quick hit result, and they allow you to then go out from there. And I think this is exactly why we're doing it. It's to fundamentally make agencies more churn-proof, scale better, and more profitable all the way through, and without having to really change a lot, to be honest. We're not telling people to get rid of their services. We're not telling people to stop selling what they're currently selling. We're just saying, listen, add this into what you're doing where it makes sense for you, and you'll just make a lot of money, and you'll have your customers stick around a lot longer.
Yeah, so we call this bolting it on, right? So like bolt this onto what you're already doing, because like, let's say you're an SEO expert, you might like not want to become an expert at Facebook ads or an expert at reactivation or follow-up or nurturing. You might not want to do those things, but you could easily bolt this on and make your product better and get, and immediately add dollars that will fall to the bottom line, meaning it's pure profit, right? And then, like, let's say that you get the call one day, oh, great, we've been with you for 6 months, but we're done with SEO. Guess what? You still got, this is the other thing I call it, is now you have your hooks in, right? It's like when you're catching a big ass fish, like you don't just pull like a 100-pound tuna out of the water with a line. You have to like get the hooks in to pull the thing in the boat, right? And so, like once you get somebody in on the boat, like once their lead gen and their nurture and their reviews and like everything are running through your dashboard, it's really difficult for them to leave. And it's not even because you're freaking great as a person or an agency. It's just painful to move platforms. It's super painful,
Well, and the opposite is true, right? I mean, it's funny because why do people leave? It's not because they hate you. It's not because they don't think you're necessarily doing a bad job. It's just that they get to this point where they feel like, I don't know, and it feels like a lot of money, and it's just psychological, right? Yeah. And that's why they never call up and say, I hate you, you're fired. They always say, you're such a great guy, Rob, but I just feel like we need to pause for now. That's like always that's like the secret word, right? And it's all psychology, and that's exactly to your point. So in order to combat the psychology, we have to feel a little more like a utility bill than we do like some massive cost endeavor. And that's what the software does, and that's why it scales so well, and that's why it's so sticky.
I love it. All right, can I just quickly drop what we've been doing, and I think that this has been so far proven that it's like disgusting at this point. Like it's gotten such good results. So the way that we have always sort of done this, but now SaaS mode just again makes it easier and more profitable, is what we've done is said, okay, so look, Mr. Client, the fastest way for me to get a yes from you is for us to fill your calendar without ad spend. Do you have openings this week? Yeah, why? Because starting tomorrow, I can start to fill your calendar. How many people are in your database, right? So we go on with our script for database reactivation. We get a quick yes. It's very easy for them to say that. Well, how are you going to do it? And we just tell them, right? And then whether you're doing that for free, which I do not recommend, it's too valuable, or you're charging money, either way, if you set appointments so that the client can close them, now you've bought yourself time. And why is that important? Well, if you suck at selling SaaS, which a lot of people do, a lot of people suck at selling, period, right? It's just, it's very difficult for a lot of people to get over the hump and raise their prices and figure out what it's actually worth, and like, have the gonads to ask the client for the sale or ask them for a large amount of money. But over time, you get better at it. And the more reps you get, the better you get at it, right? Well, easy to get a yes for database reactivation. Okay, what's great about that is you're not in feature hell, is what I call it, right? So we have never once, not a single time, not in our agency and not in our coaching program, have we ever talked about the platform. And I think you guys didn't believe us at first, because you were like, so you're like piling a bunch of like affiliates into our ecosystem, but you're not talking about the software? We're like, no, we're talking about results. We're talking about the benefits. We're talking about what people are going to get out of it, right? And then we introduce them to the software later, right? And so that was very, very, very specifically done for this exact same reason. So what we've been showing folks how to do is just to get an easy yes on the database reactivation, and we don't even let the client log into the software at first, right? We're like, we're going to nurture your leads and book your appointments. We're going to sync your Google Calendar. We'll start filling your appointments. Okay, great. Now you got some appointments going. Hey, did you see that we filled your calendar for you? Fantastic. Are you getting sales? Fantastic. Great. By the way, that's not all we got in our tool bag. When do you have time next week? We're going to book a call. We're going to get on a Zoom. We're going to show you how we can install a couple more things that are going to move the needle for you. Is that cool? Yeah. Again, I didn't say the word software. In fact, I'm going to make coffee mugs that say, keep the SaaS out your mouth. Because the second that you start talking about features, it's over to me. Because, it just like, it opens the can of worms that very few people from a sales perspective have the ability to put the lid back on, right? And so what we've done is said, okay, now we got the time, because they're getting sales and they're happy, right? Whatever they're paying you, they're like, okay, this is super worth it. But now we can start to put the hooks in, like one by one, right? So we go in and we say, okay, cool. So like, do you have a chat widget on your website? No. Do you have a textable phone number on your website? No. Where do all those forms on your site go? Those 78 forms you have all over the place? Whose inbox do those go to? So, missed call, text back. These are all SaaS tactics to start getting the hooks in. By the way, would you like some more 5-star reviews? Great, we're gonna help you with that too, right? And then you just start chipping away at these, and by the end of like a month or two, the hooks are in. They're on the platform. They're on this. It's like, yeah, we got you like 100 extra leads this month from website visitors that you guys weren't taking care of before. Isn't that nice? In addition to us filling your calendar for you, guys, it's over after that. It is over. It's done. Sure. And if you want to talk about more services on top of that, you can. But if you just do those two things, the DR up front and the SaaS on the back end, oh man, we're so good. So good.
Yeah, I would agree with that. In fact, Rob has an amazingly astute point there, which is, we talk to agencies all day long about features, and it's funny, we build half the features we build just so that we can get the agency to come buy the product. But ultimately, I could care less, about any of this stuff. In fact, if you look at the first, because that's not what really matters. If you look at our first SaaS offering, the way it's constructed, it's designed to all live in one screen. So when you do, like here, let's go look at that feature set real quick. So it's literally, two-way text, GMB messaging, web chat, reputation management, Facebook Messenger, boom, 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 boom. Looks really exciting and cool. But all of that is delivered off the conversations page. That's it. Because when your client comes in, all this whole left menu, gone. Just conversations, right? Everything through here. Hey, look at it. Look at that. What's that? That's a Google business message, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, look, right there. If they get a review, it pops in right here on this page. If they get a web chat, right here on this page. If they want to send text to pay, right here on this page, right? Right here, right here, right here, right here. You turn them on one screen and you stop. And this, by the way, and this is, this is where I love agencies for their passion to help their customers. But one of the things I try to teach people is, this is why I love Podium. I'm like, look, go look at this company, right? And, look at their product set. It's everything I just told you. It's just that one screen. And if you don't believe me, go watch their demo videos. But, what I think is more amazing is this is $100 million company. They have a 2% monthly churn rate. They serve all of the same customers you do. It's just that they do it with a $400 a month recurring software product that never gets canceled, never gets churned, that customers love and will pay for years and years and years and years. And if you don't, and you can go look at the data. And then I have a personal experience, which is the only single business I have ever sold to in my life is the HVAC guy who did the HVAC on my house. And I sold him reputation management, AKA send a text message out to your customer every time you book an invoice in QuickBooks, which by the way, you can do inside GoHighLevel quite easily. And the guy has been paying me $300 for like 3.5 years every month consistently because he's got 384 reviews, up from 12 when I met the dude. And that's all he needed to run his business. His business has grown dramatically. When I met him, he's the guy who was like up in my wall and in my attic and stuff. And the last time I talked to him 2 years ago, he hadn't been on a job in years. And it's because of this one simple thing, because now every time you search HVAC, he pops to the top and people hire him. It's just that simple. And ultimately, this is where you guys can go. And if you think about another really, really, really good example, the best example, and this is really where we're headed, is this company here called Thrive. Thrive is publicly traded. They're a multi-billion-dollar company, but who they are, it's hilarious to me. They're the Yellow Pages. This is the Yellow Page dudes came together, and they all these guys, and what did they decide that they were going to sell? They were going to sell Yellow Pages anymore. They're going to sell Saas, the leading SMB marketing solution provider with scaled SaaS CRM offering. And you laugh right up until the point where you realize they're doing 127 million in revenue off 44,000 clients. And it's not even their software. They are selling Visita. That's who they're selling. They are white labeling this platform here, which by the way it has a smaller feature set than GoHighLevel, and they're crushing it to their credit. And they're doing it very simply. They have 1,047 people. And I challenge everyone to do this. Search Thrive, LinkedIn, and then your city name. And I can't spell, I probably messed that up, but that's all good. And here's what you're going to find. You're going to find that in every major city, and by the way, I live in a small college town, somebody like this, who's running around your town right now, unbeknownst to you, selling a $350 a month recurring SaaS subscription called Thrive and doing great, where honestly, they have no experience in any of it. They're not an agency. They can't help with any other services. They're just selling this one silly product that's white labeled, and they're doing a great job. So point is that the opportunity here is massive. And what I think that most people don't quite realize is that if you take big companies, like go look at ActiveCampaign and see how much these people have raised. It's insane. Yeah. 360 million bucks. But you know how they sell? They sell by running ads, and then they do, they're doing outbound calls and SDRs and BDRs and all this other stuff. But I think most of the sales is going to shift into the hands of agencies. And I'll tell you why. If you go look at this diagram, this guy is famous for this diagram. He's a really smart guy, but everybody just knows him for this one thing. He puts out this diagram of every single marketing software solution, and he's kept track every year since 2014. It was 947 then, and it's 8,000 now. This is the world that your customers have to wind their way through in order to try to find a solution. And just imagine how overwhelming this has to be when they don't care about features, they don't care about products, they just care about outcomes. So if you could come along and say, look, you know what? In addition to all of the awesome marketing agency services that you need, let's move this all aside and provide you all of the technology solutions you also need from one person, one-stop shop. Oh my gosh, they're going to be running to your door to say yes, because this is exactly what they need. They need a one-stop shop for all of their marketing needs, both on the service side and the technology side. And now with SaaS mode, you can deliver exactly that.
Yeah. Yeah. And, on top of that, it's very common that people have to glop like 7 things together just to get the outcome that they desire. And when stuff breaks, they either don't get the outcome they desire, or they have to have somebody painstakingly try to fix it themselves. Like if you've ever tried to get in contact with ActiveCampaign if something's broken, freaking good luck. It's just like
that's exactly what it is, right? Imagine you're a local business owner, you're the plumber, you're the lawyer, you're the dentist, right? You really have time to like sit on hold and hope I had to contact GoDaddy because they sold one of my domains out from under me. And the first time I tried to contact, they said, oh, don't worry, there's a 65-minute wait. And I'm like, 65 minutes? I don't have time for this crap. And if you think about it, local businesses there's a lot of other people that already do this, right? Why is it that every time I go into a restaurant, there's like some random payment solution that's sitting on the thing, or some retail solution? It's because some guy or gal walks in and says, hey, we've got all of the outcomes you need. We have Apple Pay and Google Pay and all this other stuff. these business owners don't have time to be going on the internet, spending all day trying to find the perfect payment solution. They just need someone to walk through their door and say, don't worry about the complexity. I got you handled. We have all the features. And the person's going to be like, sold, I'll take it. Because and then it's like, listen, if you ever have a problem, here's my card. I can come down or I can jump on a call with you. I will help you. It's that customer service aspect that wins that sale every time, not the technology sophistication.
Indeed. And as marketers, I think it's the one thing that I think marketers have the biggest ego about is that they feel like that since they know even just a little bit about marketing, if you know just a little bit, you feel like you know more, therefore your customers need to be educated more. And that just is not the case. They don't care. Like I have friends at home, like my friends own a surf shop chain, and I'm actually in San Diego now for the next 2 weeks. And so like, we're going to go visit them right after this actually. And every time I go in there, like they have like the lowest level of tech I've ever seen in a retail environment. Like they're super old school. And they've been on the same software platform for, I think 20 years. And it's one of the big ones, right? But they don't use they have a credit card machine that's not even attached to the point of sale system. And their point of sale system, they use like 2 features out of like 2,000. And they've been paying that software bill like for 20 years.
Totally.
It's like, so they have a phone, a credit card, like a swipey credit card machine, the old school ones where you can punch in the number on the pad and it prints out the receipt from the machine. And then they've got their point of sale system, which they use to like gun the stuff and tell them how much to pay. And that's it.
Yeah, totally.
But they've been using that system for 20 years. And I don't know how much, but it's like 5 locations plus a warehouse. So, I mean, they've probably been paying like $2,000 a month for 20 years, something like that.
Yeah, and they always will. I mean, they're never going to give that up.
Yeah, it's like a core thing. So like, if you can find somebody that uses this as a core of their business, like, the reason why the HVAC guy is never going to quit probably is because that thing's on autopilot now for him. He doesn't have to touch it. If it breaks, he might call you, but if it never breaks, he's never going to call you.
That's right.
Keep paying the bill, right? It's like, yeah.
And that's one stupid feature, right? Like, and again, I'm a software engineer, so I just want to call them like, yeah, we need to do the web chat, we need to do this and this and this and this and this and this, but I don't, because I know, you know what? It actually would make it harder, it'd make it worse, it'd make it more likely it's going to cancel, because then the complexity level would go up, right? And that's why you don't talk about the features, you just talk about the outcomes. And as long as they're getting the outcome, they pay the bill, and that's all that matters, right? It's a square deal for everyone all around. And so I agree, as people go out to sell these solutions, the most important thing to do is sell simplicity. Start with something that's easy and walk them up as they go. And honestly, like the HVAC person, you might find that at some point you could give them more, but you may not actually want to, because they'll pay you as much as you want, as you think it's reasonable to pay, and stay forever without any of those additional features, and they'll be just happy with it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's say that that folks are like, okay, I get it, Shaun, I get it, Rob, right? What can you tell us some use cases of people that you've seen be successful with Saas? Like, I know you kind of dropped this here and there, but can you just be like braggy for a minute and just be like, user one or agency one that I know of is in this niche and they've got this many customers, or maybe this was mine.
So I mean, so the good news is I mean, I've seen people in every niche. That's the most important thing. I see people who I can also tell you people who sell it by itself, people who sell it in addition to services, people who lead with services and could give a crap if they keep them because they're just using it as a foot in the door to pay for the advertising and the marketing. So, our 2 biggest customers just on Saas alone, one of them is going to do 3 million. They sell to doctors. It's all cold call. It's $500 a month. This guy, the guy who runs the place, has a background in it. He did this in a prior life for another software company. He saw how amazingly profitable they were, and then when he saw GoHighLevel, he just put two together, and bam, he was off to the races. He doesn't sell any services at all. The other big heavy hitter, they'll also do 3 million this year. They're in the VRBO rentals. Like they go after people who basically, I think, manage, say I didn't know the business, but manage a lot of VRBOs or Airbnbs or whatever. And they sell it into those folks. And then from there, though, I mean, I have people all over the place: roofers, dentists, doctors, lawyers, you pick a niche, we've got it. Ultimately, there's not a single business, and this is really important to how we've designed the solution. There's not a single business, like real estate agents, insurance guys, whatever, who can't use this tech, right? And it might be a little shift to the left or shift to the right. I often find the big dividing line is, do they have a website and a Google My Business, thing or not? So, if you're an insurance guy, maybe, you're like, I don't have a website. I work for Bob, Bob's Insurance or whatever. But that's okay, because then you're going to push things like newsletter campaigns and, email marketing, because that's more important, because they need to just stay up on their list more than anything else. And maybe they don't have a website, so they don't need the web chat. But I mean, there is just not a single vertical or type of business that I haven't seen someone run the SaaS play successfully on. And most importantly, it always works out the same. Super profitable, it scales really well, and it has very low churn. Like, it's just got these amazing dynamics. One guy I know, he's probably going to do, he'll probably do about $1.5 million this year. He sells Facebook ads to chiropractors, but he churns and burns them on the Facebook ads like you wouldn't believe. He's like ruthless about it. He's like, I could give a crap. I know they're going to be around for 2 months, but it's just so he can sell them the software. Because he'll put the Facebook ads in, because for him, that's his, he knows how to do that pitch. But he just knows it's going to fall flat, but they've already got the software. So then they burn out on the Facebook ads. They're like, oh, no problem. And bam, $500 a month, they've got him on the platform, and then he never loses them. So that's his, he just says, hey, that's how I pay my sales guy. And that's how I pay my ad spend, to bring in the lead. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. I know a lot of local digital agencies that literally just walk around and sell through Chamber of Commerce meetings, BNI and all of that, because local is really good. So there's a lot of applicability here, regardless of how you structure your agency. There's examples across the board.
Love it. Guys, is this helpful? Type a 1 in the chat if this is helpful, and then maybe we can stop and answer a couple questions.
Sure, happy to do that.
All right. Okay, cool. So Anne-Marie, Lawrence, John, Antoine. Okay, cool. So they're all saying this is awesome. Ellen says, Shaun, what's the best way to contact you after the call? I have a specific need that wouldn't be appropriate to ask here. That's Ellen Gross-Close.
Just hit me up on Facebook Messenger. Or if you, here's my booking link if you need it. But I'm booked out till next week. So however you want, if it's quick, hit me up on Messenger. If not, book me next week. Happy to talk.
Yep. And guys, Shaun's team is amazing. So hit support. I'm sure they can help you quicker than that. Bro, I hope that's getting your name right. So he says, so if I don't know how to use the software, how do I approach a company in the most efficient way and sell them database reactivation? Well, bro, we have a free course for you. So if you go to robbailey.com/group and look at the welcome post, we've got a free course to show you how we sell and fulfill on database reactivation. And we've got some resources, training video. There's 30 videos in there on how to sell your first database reactivation. So hop in there. That's a great place to start. John says,
I was going to say,
go ahead.
Jay says, and Thrive sucks bad. So it's really interesting because, to Jay's point, I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that, but this is their first quarter update that just came out. That they have double-digit revenue growth. They've increased their average revenue per customer by 26%, and they're seeing 2.5% monthly churn rates. And so I don't agree with this. I don't disagree with the sentiment, but look at these results. So if the yellow page people can do this, come on, right? You can't. What a joke, right? It's so easy. Yeah. So to Jay's point, it is true, but their results are phenomenal. So it just shows this is the thing. I'm in the SaaS world, and just by being in the SaaS world, you end up talking to people in private equity and VC and all these things, because they'll contact you all the time. And I love getting on these calls to talk to these guys because they just don't get it at all. No one understands this model. It's all about raise a bunch of venture capital, hire a bunch of sales dudes, have them call a bunch of people randomly and try to get them on demos and blah, 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 blah. It's a super expensive distribution model. And it comes with no service. It comes with no customer care. It comes with no additional help. It's just selling them a platform and running away. Man, I'm telling you, agencies are going to crush all of the existing players with this model because the secret sauce is you every time. It's not the tech. The tech, you can buy the tech from 100 people. It's you coming in and bringing the tech together with what you're already offering. It's just so amazing to watch because, you walk in the door, anybody having any other solution and you steamroll them on the fact that it's like, oh yeah, we got that. But do you like opening support tickets and waiting, 72 hours to hear back a nonsensical answer that doesn't help you? They're like, of course I hate that. They're like, well, great. You can just call me instead and I'll help you. Like, boom, sold. We'll take it.
Yeah. And what's crazy too is like, so like in our business or businesses, I should say, we're largely pitching either our white label SaaS of yours or HighLevel itself. And every time we get on a sales conversation or answer a question or support whatever, it's always really like there's a light bulb moment for people when we go. They're like, well, how do I use the conversations tab to support somebody? And we're like, well, we're doing it with you right now because they're on their phone. They're texting with us, and it's like, well, would it be easier to just hop on a quick call? Well, I can't right now. It's noisy. Okay, well, go ahead, fire away. Maybe we can help you real fast right here. And then they kind of go, it's like a super meta moment, right? They're like, oh crap, so I can just like use my phone, to support my customers. And it's like, yeah. Like, in fact, if all you had was your phone, you could do a lot, right?
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
There's definitely like a light bulb moment there.
Well,
let's see.
Go ahead.
Which is the Thrive white label again? It's VCITA, VCITA. Yeah, which also sucks, by the way.
Yeah, it does. And the only thing that they have that we don't is billing and invoicing. But guess what? We'll have that out by the end of this quarter. And we of course already have 100 other things they don't. And also remember, you also get the lead connector mobile app. So you're able to actually come in and tell your clients, hey, don't worry. We also have a mobile app on Android and iPhone. So you can monitor all your leads, conversations, all this stuff. So you have full mobile capabilities as well.
Yep. Okay, cool. Chris says, what is the link to your system? Chris, it's just pyros.io. The homepage isn't much. We just do direct sales. You're not going to probably be impressed with that page at all. Shaun, can you just go to that homepage real fast?
Oh, yes, sir.
Pyros.io. Yeah. So guys, like just to let you know,
that's still pretty though.
Yeah, it's pretty good, right? It just, there's no like we get no business from it,
Yeah, you just hey, I have a website.
Yeah, but like guys, I have a team of 10. We do a couple million a year, and basically, like all I do is sell direct. So I do like app setters in my group, and I run a little bit of Facebook ads. I think we spend like 10 grand a month on Facebook ads right now, and we have 40% profit margins at the end of the day. And like my CFO, I have a fractional CFO. And he's just like, dude, your profit margins are like unicorn status. And it's because we have SaaS on the back end. We have affiliate income from HighLevel, and we have SaaS income from this. So it's, the sooner you guys get started with this, the easier it gets. I remember promoting HighLevel to help them launch when they were still in beta. Shaun and Robin flew down to a workshop that we were having, and I was just coaching agency owners on our system, right? That's all I was doing. And literally, we just showed them the opportunity, and every single person in that room signed up for the software, right? That's how it got started. In fact, I think you guys, if I remember correctly, you guys didn't even have a way to take payment. We didn't.
No. So we built. So that was like we built our first funnel on the airplane ride over, and I signed up. It was like, oh crap, yeah. What are we gonna do? So yeah, it was fun.
It's literally the only time I've ever been mad at you and Robin. It's just like, guys, you don't have a payment link set up. Everybody's here waiting to buy.
Yeah, right. I just had no idea. We were like, we don't even know how this stuff works.
Yeah. Well, guys, that's how it started. And it gets better every month, right? We get more of this recurring revenue every single month, and we just build on top of it. So every month it goes up, right? We have some churn, everybody does, but it's not a lot. And every month that you chip away at it, Shaun, I remember you telling me this too, is like once we really got rolling and you were like, okay, wow, Rob's kind of like taking off with this. You're like, Robb, you could build a really good retirement with this. And that's when the light bulb went off for me for this model was like, dude, recurring revenue. We could quit right now and, this thing could trail off a couple decades and still churn revenue out.
Well, and if you ever want to sell a business, what you're gonna run into is when you sit down with a buyer, they're gonna ask you, well, what do you do and how does the revenue work? And what they don't want to hear is, well, I've got a bunch of people that run around doing stuff all the time, and if those people stop doing those things, the revenue declines. Like that's like, oh, that sounds like a job, not like a business. What they want to hear is, well, we actually have this recurring revenue stream that's all powered by software that over time continues to grow and, more or less will just continue by itself because, well, it doesn't require a lot of staff to run around and do anything in order for the money to come in, right? And so that is, and what that will play out as is if you go to sell a business, you're going to get, a 2x multiple on revenue for your service business, and you're going to get a 10x multiple on your revenue for your software business. And so because that's the kind of business everyone wants to own. They want to own a machine that just keeps churning out revenue day in and day out.
Yep. Because it's an asset, it's like, I can tell you guys this is the thing of beauty waking up on the first of the month. We have we call it a thermometer. It's like a sales tracker. It just shows us how far we've gotten in the month. And every month that sucker starts off with 0. Well, we have recurring revenue that automatically kicks that up to really good amount. So it's like, we're not starting with a big fat 0 every month anymore. We're starting with, a nice, healthy, profitable, very high margin amount of revenue in our business. And that completely changed our business. I mean, just that alone relieves so much stress. It allows us to make better decisions, to take our time. It also allows you to do things other people can't do. Because if the guy, let's just say there is another guy who's, let's just say, selling Facebook ads, right? And that guy comes in and he goes, oh no, my goal is to keep my client for as many months as possible on Facebook ads. And as we all know, the average in our industry is about 2 months, guys. It's like 1.9 months for retainer for a service like that, which is terrible, right? But if you're able to come in and go, yeah, even if I sign somebody, it's like you were saying before, if I sign somebody for database reactivation or Facebook ads or whatever, and they want to quit that service, then you're kind of like, well, that's fine. I got back end revenue from it now.
Well,
so
and honestly,
customer.
And honestly, it's also a very radically different dynamic. So you have to realize, like, when you have one service and that service is canceled, you've been fired, right? Versus if you have 10 services or 2 services and one of them gets dropped and the other does not, you weren't fired at all. They just changed their plan with you. They just changed their service level. So then roll forward 3 months when a lot of businesses realize, oh, those Facebook ads were really helping us, or that we really would like to run another campaign. They don't have to call and try to admit that they screwed up. They just have to call and change the service level. It's kind of like, if you have ever changed, gone down in something, it's a lot easier to go back. But when you fire someone or get rid of it entirely, it feels weird to come back and be like, yeah, I was actually wrong and da-da-da-da. If you look at the actual pattern, what most people do is they say, you know what, I'm going to just find someone new, because socially it just feels better to hire a new person. But now you can just go back up in the service level. So what I think will happen long-term is I think most services on the marketing side will ebb and flow, but ultimately will underpin by the technology piece. And so that as an agency, that sort of recurring revenue piece will continue to grow. And you'll just have this nice kind of wavy line of services as you move along. People will come up 3 months and off 3 months and up 3 months. And you'll be okay with that because you don't constantly have to feel like you're on this roller coaster. It's really just additive revenue that you're not necessarily counting on, but it's just nice to have. But that beautiful recurring technology revenue. And by the way, this has happened before. This is not a new concept. If you go look at the MSP space, the IT space, it used to be that IT people would literally have this sort of on and off again model that hey, my printer's broken, my mouse doesn't work, can you come into my dentist's office and put in a new printer, install some servers, very very project sort of work. But the problem is that's very feast and famine, right? And honestly, that looks a lot like the churn model of an agency. So what MSPs realized is over time, you know what? I'm going to sell you those servers not at some one-time massive cost, but as an ongoing monthly check. And so as a result, they created these retainer models around not services, but software and technology, which allows them to now forever grow this beautiful recurring base. And then if the dentist ever wants to get rid of them, oh my gosh, it's so painful because now every server stops working, every mouse doesn't get supported, every printer, every computer, all the licenses expire. The whole office will shut down if you ever get rid of the MSP. And so as a result, you're like, forget it. We'll just keep paying the dude. And it doesn't actually feel like a lot of money because instead of a $20,000 project, right, it's a $500 a month bill or an $800 a month bill. And you're like, oh, well, okay, that seems reasonable for all the tech in the office.
Right. Our good friend, Mike Cooch, started and sold a very profitable company by adjusting the model that way. And I love Mike. I'm going to see him here in San Diego while I'm visiting. But he was so smart. So he built a service like that from scratch. And essentially he ran his IT company like a SaaS company. He had 3 packages. And so whatever level of service they wanted, it was just all inclusive. And so people would pay him like $500 a month and he wouldn't hear from him for 6 months. But then, like you said, the server would break or whatever. And he would just call up a local contractor, contract the work out, pay that guy like a few $100, get them all fixed up. And then he wouldn't hear from him for another 6 months again, probably.
Yeah,
And
there you go.
I think he self-funded that company and then sold it for a buttload of money and then started another company that serviced those types of IT companies. But that was a huge deal back then.
It was absolutely. And this is happening in the marketing space. And this is happening and I think marketing is the right way to do it because when a marketing agency calls you, they're all about leads. They're all about customers. They're all about growth. That's what every business wants, right? They're the people that are going to help you scale up and you're excited to talk to them. So you're really wanting to, when they give you technology to help you grow your business, that's going to be the stickiest type of technology. I mean, the fact that MSPs did it first, it tells you it's way doable because no one likes their servers. No one likes the internet connection or the printer or whatever, right? It's just like their utilities. Ultimately, it's the marketing software, though, that's going to drive the growth of every small business going forward. And it's so important that I think that it comes from the agency because the services and the know-how and the expertise that comes along as an agency, you put those two together and magic happens.
Yep, no doubt. Cool. All right, guys. I want to be respectful of your time, Shaun. Thanks for jamming with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah. So, okay, we got like 5 more minutes with Shaun. Any last questions from you guys? I'll just do sort of a last call because we got about 5 minutes until Shaun has to hop off.
Plus, you got to go to the surf shop.
I do, yeah. We do. We got to go spend my salary at the surf shop. That's what we do. We walk in there and I'm like, the kids are grabbing.
I'll take it all.
Stuff. Yeah. Which is it's a lot of fun actually. But so anything like, is there anything that you want to leave people with? Like let's say somebody's on the fence about signing up for the SaaS features, and you can click away from Pyros and go back to that page if you want. But you guys are welcome. What should people be looking at if let's just say they're on the fence for some reason?
Yeah. So I mean, I think there's 2 things here. So if you look at digital marketing agency on Google Trends, what you'll see if you zoom back since they've been tracking it, it's at all-time highs in terms of search volume. And what this really ultimately speaks to is that COVID has hyper accelerated digital adoption for businesses. They understand they need technology and they're actually looking for agencies to help them find it. Yes, they want SEO. Yes, they want PPC. Yes, they want a new website and all that stuff. But they also know all this tech that's out there in the marketing space really help their competitors make it through and weather COVID. And we saw this on our side. We saw lots of people doing all kinds of stuff. It could be courses, work out at home and all this other stuff, but also like, online ordering and all of this stuff for restaurants. Like all of this was driven by digital technology. And so every small business owner has now gotten the message, but they've also run into the biggest problem, which is I have no clue what I'm doing. I need help and I need your help. And so this is where you're walking in the door and you're not leading with a $3,000 a month pitch. You're leading with a $300 or the $400 a month software pitch. You're getting the yes, you're getting the customer, or you're leading with the database reactivation, and you're moving them up the value ladder. But what you're leaving them with is, and yourself, most importantly, is this recurring revenue stream that is not driven by a massive load of employees or a bunch of white label outsourcers, a lot of complexity, but this very simple software solution that ultimately solves for the problem that this person has, which is, hey, listen, I need tech that's going to bring in customers every day. Well, oh, cool. That's the web chat widget. Hey, look at that. Somebody wrote in off your website. I'd like to give you my money. And all you have to write back is no problem. I'll take it from you. We'll be right out. Right. That is all you got to do to fundamentally deliver truckloads of value. So this is a great time to do this. This is like a revolution that is in the making. Like this is the very starting line of this. 5 years from now, everyone will be like, of course we do this, right? This is like, you go off and you look at like Mark Benioff, who runs Salesforce. He couldn't get $1 of venture capital for Salesforce when he started. For years and years and years, people would laugh his head off. And he was the second in command from Oracle, by the way. He wasn't some idiot no name. No one would give him any money or any time of day. And they're like, what do you mean CRM in the cloud? What's this internet thing? No one's going to put a CRM on the internet. And now Salesforce is the de facto standard. I believe we're at a very similar place for this idea. I think 5 years from now, I'd be like, of course I'm getting my technology from my agency because they're the experts at this stuff, period, end of story. So this is a great time to get started because this is just the beginning.
Yep, no doubt. Awesome, Shaun. Thank you. Can you very quickly on your screen, just go to robbailey.com
yes, sir.
30-day trial with no dashes. So
let's see if I did that right. Nope, I don't know how to spell. That's my problem. Hold on. I'm working on it.
So Lawrence says, so if each new client pays $400, what percentage goes to GHL? 0%. Your fee is your fee that you pay to HighLevel, and that never changes. Chris says HighLevel versus Kartra. Any thoughts? I personally hate Kartra, but Kartra is actually built for info products. It's not very good, in my opinion. There's a lot of bugs, and it's very clunky.
I think it's also, the thing that will always separate us from our competitors isn't our features. Again, it's for us, it's about our commitment to the path. So we have a vision here, which is we believe agencies are the future of selling digital technology and digital services to end customers, period, end of story. We only sell to agencies, by the way. We don't just sell to anyone and everybody who shows up at our website because we mean what I just said. Go to Kartra, ActiveCampaign, ClickFunnels, I don't care who you go to. They're selling to everybody. Come on down, everybody. If you're a small business owner, yep, come on down. We'll take your money. Are you an agency? Come on down. We'll take your money. So ultimately, what that's really saying is we don't care who you are. We think that we could sell you our tool and you can use it. We believe differently. We believe without that agency, the end business owner cannot use it. They won't be successful. They're not going to win. So we think we see a different world out there. And ultimately, by the way, that's a limiting world for us. You could say, well, hey, Shaun, aren't you giving up a lot of customers? We absolutely are giving up a lot of customers, but it's because for the right reasons. It's because we want those actual people to be successful, not just sell them some tool that they can't use.
Right. Yep. I always say, like, anyone can buy a hammer, right? That's just a tool.
Yeah.
But you can commit murder with a hammer. You can do nothing with a hammer. You can build a house with a hammer. There's a lot of things you can do.
Or you can hit yourself on the thumb, which is exactly what I would do.
Oh,
I'm never going to make it to the doghouse. I'm just going to hit myself on the thumb and be like, that's it. I'm out. I'm done. Find somebody who can build a doghouse. It's not me, let alone a house.
All right. So guys, sign up for a 30-day trial here. If you guys use the link that I just dropped and Shaun is on right now, instead of a 14-day trial, you get a 30-day trial. Shaun just did that to hook you guys up because we're homies. And Matthew has a good question here. He says, if we upgrade our current agency account, do we still get access to the 30-day SaaS trial, or is that for new customers only? Shaun, do you want to answer that?
No, anybody. It's open to everybody. So, okay, cool. And worst case scenario, I'll hook you up with Kelsey on my team and she'll make that happen. So everybody has access to this. So because you're coming through Robb, Robb absolutely has supported us from day one. He's a phenomenal guy to know, and he's an amazingly smart guy to listen to. He knows his stuff. And we're just excited that he's helped us get started and continues to support us because honestly, we've built all of this very much together from a lot of his smarts and his knowledge and his experience. And so we want to give anybody who is working with him a good offer and a good deal, and hopefully this does that for you.
Awesome, dude. Thank you, man. It's been a really fun ride, and this is by far the most fun I've ever had as an affiliate and a partner. I mean, it's just been so cool. Before COVID hit, guys, we used to do like 3 to 4 workshop events per year, and Shaun, I think, has been to every single one of them. So
I'll keep coming too. Next one you have, I'll be there.
Yeah,
I enjoy them. They're great.
Yeah, they're fun. We work super hard and try to make it as gangster as possible, and then we usually go out to a nice dinner one night at family friends restaurant. Oh, cool. Is that your booth design?
Yeah, that's our booth.
That is so rad.
I know.
Yes. So why don't you go ahead and plug your event at your booth.
So we'll be at Traffic and Conversion. It's a big you know more about it than I do, Robb. You've actually been to one. I haven't. So we'll be in the agency track for TNC, and we'll also be right across from ClickFunnels and ActiveCampaign with our booth. So we'll try to throw them some shade. So yeah, if you're going to attend, definitely stop by. I'll be up on stage talking about what we've learned from working with over 10,000 agencies and sharing a lot of really good data. And honestly, driving home this message to everybody who shows up, because again, I really believe strongly in this, not just because it's my crazy idea, but I've just seen so many agencies have such amazing success and continue. And I'm telling you, I mean, you know, for, just to throw a little love to this guy. This dude came in on the Facebook group telling me how we didn't have a million HubSpot features and da 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 da. And he's just a t-shirt printer dude. And then I got him on the phone and I pitched him the Saas thing, and he turned around and bam, that guy is like on fire. He's got 25 people. He's got 1,000 customer lists. He's like, this is the greatest thing ever. So anybody, even people just getting started, have made phenomenal results with it. So it's definitely possible.
I love it. I love it. Okay, cool. Well, I will be there trying to scoop up as many affiliate customers.
Oh, and we are gonna interview you on our booth, by the way. We're gonna interview. So come by. We want to see you. We're gonna do a live from TNC thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Dope, man. So if you guys can make it, that's in San Diego. I forget the dates. It's like
September what, 13th through the 15th.
Yep, 13th through 15th in San Diego. Guys, traffic and conversion, if you've never been, is probably the biggest and the best live event for our industry. Like anyone you've ever seen in marketing or digital advertising at all, like all the gurus, all the big names, all that stuff, you can literally just like buy them a beer. They're all hanging out in the lobby and stuff like that. So it's a fantastic event.
I'm going to try to get Billie Jean's autograph. That's my goal.
You should, man. Well,
right on my arm.
Yeah.
I'm never watching this.
Yeah, but the networking is worth it alone. Like I've gone a ton and I haven't even bought a ticket sometimes. I just hang out in the lobby and, you know, meet up with cool people. So
there you go.
Yep. So anyways, really, really, really fun event. And we'll be announcing like a workshop probably in the fall that Shaun will fly down to. But okay, so replay for this, guys, will be in my free group. A lot of you guys are asking about the replay. I'll post it in just go to robbbailey.com/group. Our team will set you up with free logins to get into our course, which is where we store all these kinds of cool recordings that we do with Shaun and other cool people. So if you guys need anything, email support@robbbailey.com. And then Shaun's got, you know, he's super active in the high level group. So just hit him up there. He's busy, but he's also accessible. I've never met a founder who's at this level who's been as accessible as you, Shaun. That's a huge compliment.
Well, I wouldn't be here without you, Rob. So I'll tell you that.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. All right, guys. I think it's a good time to wrap. And Shaun's got, I'm 4 minutes over. I'm sorry, man. We'll let you go.
All right.
Thanks so much, dude. And really appreciate it. And yeah, any questions, y'all hit up Shaun or hit my team up and we'll get you taken care of.
Bye for now, everybody.
See you, buddy. Take care.